Good afternoon, folks. Robert Chappell here, Executive Editor, Madison365, with your daily update for Monday, April 18th. I said Monday. That means it is Metcalfes Monday. Metcalfes is a fourth generation, family owned and operated market with stores in Madison at Hilldale and behind the West Town Mall. And in Wauwatosa at 68th and State, they work to support local farmers and their products and have over 3,500 local products on their shelves. You can order for pickup or delivery at shopmetcalfes.com anytime, which you might want to consider doing because it's easy and convenient, and Metcalfes folks will take really good care of you. But also, there's still a pandemic on. So ordering your groceries, not crowding the store is probably not the worst idea. Let's talk about some of those numbers, and then we'll get to some other news. Basically, the story today is what the story has been for the past 2 or 3 weeks, which is to say that the spread of coronavirus infection is rising slowly, but there has not yet been a corresponding increase in hospitalizations and deaths. So it's kind of a mixed bag. The virus is a COVID infection when it spreads is disruptive, can cause long COVID, can cause all sorts of problems for individual people. We don't want to dismiss that, but at the same time, it's not causing the kind of population-wide destruction that it did during Delta and even a little bit into the Omicron surge. So that's the good news. Okay, so here's the actual numbers. Today, we're looking at 330 new cases today for the state of Wisconsin, which is what we've been seeing the last couple of Mondays. Right, Monday is lower than the rest of the other days just because there's not as much testing over the weekends. But that puts our 7-day average at 672, which yesterday was Saturday was 669. Right, so it's up very slightly. Going back to last week, we were over 700. Okay, so it did come down, and now it's going back up just slightly. So you could say it's leveled off, actually. So, slightly higher than it was Friday and Saturday, but very little. Now, the other number that is concerning is the 7-day positive test rate, which is the number of tests in the past 7 days that have come back positive. That's at 5.9%. That's much higher than we want it. Now, it was in the 30s back in January at the height of Omicron, right? But we want it to be below 3, and it was below 3 in early to mid-March. Just below 3%. Now it's crept up near 6%. So the virus is spreading. It's spreading faster than it was. It's still nowhere near the number of cases we had during the Delta surge or the Omicron surge. This is going back to, like, our numbers right now are comparable to those like late July of last year. Right, last summer, everything was pretty quiet. Late July, things started to tick up, and then Delta hit. And we were doing 3,000, 4,000 cases a day. Then Omicron hit. From there, we're up to 18,000 very quickly per day. So 672 per day, not too bad. We don't want it to get worse than that, though. Okay, now, usually when there's an increase in cases, we see a corresponding increase in hospitalizations and deaths 2 to 4 weeks later, which means this current increase in cases has been going on for 3 weeks. We should see, if we're going to see an increase in hospitalizations, we should see it by now, and we're not seeing it. So that's the relatively silver lining good news. We currently have 137 people hospitalized. That's 6 fewer than yesterday. That's 10 fewer than a week ago. All that is very good news. The 26 of those are in the ICU. So that means hospitals are not being overrun right now. So it's a big deal for those 137 people. Right? We were well over 1,000 hospitalized not long ago. Okay. So, and the best news is that the current increase in cases is not, it doesn't appear to be severe cases. I mean, there are severe cases in there, obviously, but the bulk of them are not as severe as we saw during the Delta surge. Our 7-day average of deaths is also low at 3, has not increased during this most recent increase in cases. So, again, we don't want that increase in cases to continue. We don't want people who are vulnerable to get infected. We don't want people to get long COVID. We also don't want to panic because at a population level, this current crop of new cases is just not causing the same consequences that we saw during the original Omicron surge or the Delta surge. So it's a good news, bad news situation. It's a mixed bag, basically. So we're going to get on now to some other news for the day. But first of all, I have to mention that the Daily Update today is also brought to you by Forward Theater Company and their production of Russian Troll Farm. Forward Theater presents Russian Troll Farm, a workplace comedy at the infamous real life, this is a real place, internet research agency in Russia. Professional internet trolls work for days at a time creating tweets and posts to sow discord and doubt among Americans. An urgent and wicked smart tale about the folks who tried to promote Pizzagate, confuse Wisconsin, and tip the 2016 election. Presented at Overture Center April 21st through May 8th. Tickets available now at forwardtheater.com. That's forwardtheater.com. That's theater with an ER, not an RE. All right, getting on now to some local news and some national news. This morning we have a new reporter with us, Niall Lansana, who has a profile of Jaydawkins, who is a first wave alum from the University of Wisconsin, who is now serving a 2-week residency in at the Taft Museum of Art in Cincinnati, Ohio. It's a very prestigious residency. She's a poet, a writer, an educator, and she's right now in the middle of that 2-week residency. April 10th was declared Jaydawkins Day in the city of Cincinnati by the mayor. It's fantastic. And Niall talked to her, had a very nice interview, really good profile of her at the website right now, Madison365.org. Turning quickly to national news, the state of Florida has removed or has decided to not to approve about 50 math textbooks because they say there's too much critical race theory in them. Not sure how that works. A lot of folks don't like Common Core math principles or whatever, but there's they cite social emotional learning in the math textbooks, and they don't like that, so they have disallowed 50 math textbooks. We get that story from CNN. They have asked for the list of books and have not received it. So that is that's the latest out of Florida. That's all the news I have for you today. Have a wonderful evening. Stay warm. It's mid-April, and it's getting to be late April, and it's still snowing outside. So that's just great. Stay warm. Enjoy your evening. Take care of yourselves. We will talk to you soon.
This is 365 Media.